Ladies and gentlemen, January 7th, it's Toys. That's right, we're going to be making you a better, more informed gamer. We're going to be talking about network lag today and how it relates to all Call of Duty games, and we're going to be using Black Ops since it's the newest, but they're all the same. Now, one of the big problems we have are the settings for this game are the same as they are in a lot of older games. The game engine that runs this is Quake 3. So we're talking about 1997, 1998 era network is what this is programmed to work with. So very slow dial-up and very slow broadband. Now, my settings in this are going to be a little different. We'll go over that later, but this is the fastest game you will ever see, and I'll explain it later. One of the things that makes this very hard is that in Call of Duty games, you've got guns that range from a very slow BAR, shooting just over 6 shots a second, to guns that can shoot over 25 shots a second. And we'll see how this relates a little bit later. Excuse me. Now, these three right here are the three biggest network settings. You have CL Max Ping, Snaps, and Max Packets. Max Ping simply says that you are allowed to connect to anyone up to 800 milliseconds, and anyone up to 800 milliseconds worth of lag can connect to you. 800 milliseconds, that's 4/5 of a second. That's huge. Snaps is how often the server broadcasts to the clients. So if you're hosting a game, that's how many times a second you broadcast to clients. Max Packets is most important. It's how often your copy of the game updates other players when you're not host. So when you join somebody else's host, you update them 30 times a second. The frame rate on console Call of Duty is locked at 60 times a second, and on Xbox it generally runs about that. So that's a good rundown on basically, your game is shooting 60 frames a second, the server updates you 20 times a second, you update the server 30 times a second. So, you can see how with the faster guns that can really be a problem, and you'll see later. This is the Lagometer for Quake 3 games. It's a little complicated, but not very much. We're going to be going over it. On the bottom row, we have our network side. The green bars, this is lag, ping, latency. This is your ping number that you always see. The higher it is, the higher your lag is. The red bars are packet loss. That's an entire packet of information completely dropped from the game. It never gets there. Packet loss is extremely bad for gaming. When you get packet loss, people are skipping. It's just not good. Okay, the top, we have blue and yellow. And remember, on the bottom, this actually scrolls left to right 20 times a second from the server, and you send to the server 30 times a second. So this actually moves forward one little pixel 20 times every second. On the top, this is our frame rate. We're locked at 60 times a second. Now, we keep saying 60 frames a second, but the network, we're only getting 20 times a second. So obviously, your copy of the game does not know where everybody else's is. Even if you're host, client, it doesn't matter. You only know where people are in small windows of time. Now, the game basically interpolates. It just random ass guesses where people are at. On the blue side, this is the frames a second on average you can see Xbox is a little better than PS3, but as the triangles, when it updates 60 times a second going towards the blue side, it is interpolating correctly to where everyone else is. Okay, so 20 times a second, you get 3 frames between the updates. That's going to be on the blue. Now, what happens when you run over 3 seconds is it is just wild ass guessing where people are at. It no longer is not synced with the server. It's waiting too long between packets. It's just out of sync. So the yellow on the top is very bad. It's not good. So we're going to get into this game. Let's not worry about the gameplay. You're going to see me do a lot of stupid things like standing in the very middle of the maps, that kind of stuff. You can see right off the bat when the game started there was a bit of lag. So until the host actually joins the game, this isn't, it isn't very good. What we should talk about are my settings are actually different because obviously, I've got the Lagometer enabled, all this other kind of stuff. The other main changes to this is the fastest game you'll see. I'm actually updating to the server 60 times a second, so my hit detection is better than any you will ever experience on console. Another thing is my max packets. The host that I was joining was at 75 milliseconds, so I was guaranteed a very pretty solid 4-bar host. You know, we're running pretty good so far. You know, no big deal. I probably should have gotten, you know, maybe 2 of the 3 of those guys, but you know, we'll work with 1 of the 3. You're gonna see a little bit of lag creeping up here in a second. There goes a little bit of yellow. It's just, you know, note that that's me no longer being really synced with the server. This kill right here is pretty decent. The reason is on the network side it's running pretty good. You'll notice a lot of blue bars. That's I'm probably running instead of 3. It's a little hard to tell in the video, but I'm running 5 frames without a sync, which is okay. You would really like it to be 3 frames. So on the blue side, on a really great game, you would see it as half as big as what it is. A little bit of yellow here and there, so I'm definitely losing sync. If you'll watch the green bars, we're definitely lagging now. We're getting some lag spots with the host. Something that you'll notice that as the game goes on, a lot of these desyncs with the server happen right when it decides somebody kills somebody else. So we should talk about in Call of Duty, when you shoot somebody, your shots don't get sent to the server right then. When somebody's shooting you, nobody knows about it. What actually gets sent first is a player death call, and it'll say X player killed Y player. It'll give a timestamp of when it happened, and then that's when the host decides who killed who was shooting at who. So literally, you know, unless you get to run away from a kill, when you do get killed or when you kill somebody, the first thing that happens is they die. Somebody dies, and then it works on the animations, all that kind of stuff. So running okay. We all know napalm is a big issue in this game, as were airstrikes and mortar. You can see huge lag spikes. Oh my god, look at the packet loss. We got a big red bar coming across, yellow. That's probably why I got out of that alive, but definitely laggy. Now because of how I'm recording this, it is a bit hard to see the lagometer, but we're definitely swinging up and down now. You know, more lag right there. I probably should have got around the corner had I been synced with the server, but huge lag spike right there. I mean, that's over a second and a half with the lag on that respawn. So running pretty general okay, not that bad, not that great, but please, again, keep in mind this is the best game you will ever see. Okay, games on console are not this good. They're very laggy. They're very up and down. You stay decent pretty often. So my updates going out at 60 a second are definitely helping me in this game. Otherwise you'd see a lot more lag spots. Getting a little choppy right here. Again, boom, big lag spot there. So you know, it tends to run pretty good here for short bursts, and then, you know, more desyncs. So really, that's about it. I'm gonna let this play out just so people can see. But you'll always see as people are going in and dying. You know, whoever the host Xbox or PlayStation, again, you know, yellow. Every time pretty much somebody dies, you're gonna see big jumps as to when the server is updating everybody. So I have no idea how I didn't get hit on that guy. You know, if anybody can explain that, you know, you really can't. Whatever. I don't know why Uber Noober says it's hard to shoot RC cars. I definitely killed myself there. So that's pretty funny. This is gonna run pretty good for a little while if I remember right, but you know, again, you can look and see the little yellow desyncs when you start seeing really big blue bars. It's getting ready to desync. So, but it runs pretty good, you know, especially when you're not looking at stuff that causes your frame rate to go down. You will see me jump off right here. I was looking to see if it would lag, so yeah, no big deal. A lot of running out in the middle, something you don't normally do, but just trying to get people to shoot at people. So.
Friendly Cobra inbound. Friendly RCXD deployed. Friendly default strike on the way.
Really getting laggy there. Oh god, look at the lag from that. Oh, calling that napalm in. Look at that, that's horrible.
Deployed.
Look at it still lagging. Oh man. The packet loss in desyncs. Ooh, you gotta watch those airstrikes. Really makes people laggy.
Napalm strike coming in.
get a little laggy out here.
Keep fighting.
Yeah, it's so big spot. Getting more frames from the server. There. Big packet loss after I died, but yeah, that's besides the point. I never would have had him anyway. You can look at the bottom on the green ping meter. Again, because of how I'm recording this, it doesn't really show the up and down enough. It's definitely going up and down more now than what it's showing. You can kind of see it skipping some too, so definitely getting laggier as this game goes on. Not sure why. A little skip in there, but I wouldn't win that fight anyway.
Enemy spy plane incoming.
And you all definitely saw the big lag spikes there, so. All in all, console runs okay. You definitely want to be playing on 360 instead of PS3. The frames a second drops a lot, so you're definitely going to get a lot of decent server. And it actually, what's funny is during the kill cam, when the action slows down, you can see the connection gets extremely good. The latency goes way down, and the refreshes from the server happen very, very regularly. You don't see the long blue triangles, you just see a lot of dropouts, which is updates from the server. So this is going to be the second match. It's going to be pretty quick. What was funny about this game is as I was playing this game, when I was testing all this, they had updated the server while I was in the game, so they had to drop out after that. Huge lag jumping into this game before the server gets into it. But again, you know, I'll say it again. You have to realize this is the best connection you'll ever get. So all these little lag spots, a little bit of desync, it is much, much worse in practice, especially once you start getting 3-bar and up. So. Oof, big lag, big lag.
We've taken the lead.
And for anybody that hasn't seen it, you know, I'll go over something else again. Pretty much every time somebody dies, immediately after that, most of the players in the match will desync somewhat as the server updates everybody else and tries to sort out what's going on. So, a lot of times that's where your little yellow bars come from. It can get really bad when the frames a second on the host drops out, so if you're hosting, you know, try not to run through a napalm strike. That's not a good thing to do. You're really going to kill yourself with that. All in all though, you can see, you know, we're running pretty good, but, you know, remember, when I was testing for a game, instead of a maximum 800 millisecond ping, that it would let me join, mine was at top 75 milliseconds. This is definitely one of the faster games. So.
Taking the lead. Napalm striker waiting orders.
Here comes our napalm.
Friendly RCXD deployed.
Remember what happens here.
Friendly napalm strike on the way.
Really, a lot of it depends on what the host is looking at too. So that didn't seem too bad. Just 2 little desyncs. No big deal. Since this video is winding up, there's one thing we probably should talk about, and that's anti-lag on this. It's actually applied to the host because, as a lot of you know, when you're hosting, you have a big advantage versus other players. We've already stated how fast they're going to shoot. They shoot faster. Some shoot faster than the network actually updates, and some can 1-2 hit kill. So, one thing that happens when you're host to try and keep it a level playing field is that if all the other quiets in the game have a ping on average, added together and averaged out of 110 milliseconds and above, then you get anti-lag applied to you. Whatever the average ping is, it gets applied to your connection as well, which is very bad. So it only takes 1-2 laggy people to join a game, and all of a sudden you are the laggiest person in your own game, because you're adding your ping as host, which ranges from 10 to 40 milliseconds.
Enemy Cobra approaching.
From what I've done in other videos, a lot of lag there. To you know, to say 120, so suddenly everybody else is running around a 4-bar, and you would be a mid to a high 3-bar even though you're on host. So that pretty much wraps that up. That's what the lag looks like in Call of Duty.